Policeman disarmed and shot while severe winter weather created havoc all across the United States. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. Severe winter weather has created havoc all across the United States yesterday into today, and at least 3 persons were reported dead. Hundreds of thousands were left without power, and flight delays hit major airports across the U.S. as winter storm Finn fueled strong winds, severe weather, and rain from the plains into the northeast into Tuesday. Thousands of flights were delayed or canceled in cities across Chicago, New York, and Houston. Rivers in New Jersey and New York overflowed their banks, and many people had to be evacuated as well. A tornado warning was issued for parts of Orlando in Florida, including SeaWorld, Busch Gardens in Tampa, meanwhile closed at 2 p.m. Tornado damage in the Florida Panhandle showed roofs torn from buildings, mobile homes ripped apart, and downed trees about 60 miles inland from Panama City Beach. There were strong winds with gusts up to 60 miles per hour, which caused driving to be difficult in some areas, and it is expected to lessen today. Crime officer for the St. Catharines South Division, Deputy Superintendent Jermaine Anglin, said officers have been able to disrupt the activities of several criminal organizations in the division. DSP Anglin said 2 senior gang members were arrested and each charged with 9 counts ranging from murder to being a member of a criminal organization. While the gangs in the divisions are not dormant, the policeman noted that their activities are significantly lower at this time. He also disclosed a list of wanted men and is asking the public to help the police to capture them. 2 people narrowly avoided serious injury when a steel-laden truck collided into a jerk center on Spur Tree Hill Road. According to police early investigations, the driver lost control of the vehicle owing to brake failure. According to reports, the driver and his helper were traveling in the heavy unit just after 7 a.m. when it apparently encountered mechanical breakdown. According to reports, the driver, in an attempt to minimize damage, drove and crashed into the jerk center, which was closed at the time. Crashing into the jerk center made the truck come to a halt, and we have to say big up to the truck driver because it could have ended up in some fatal accident. And the accident-prone Spur Tree Main Road links Mandeville and its environs to St. Elizabeth and points west. Heavily laden, slow-moving trucks often hinder traffic on the steep, difficult hill, and there have been several fatal crashes involving trucks over many years. A 29-year-old videographer charged with shooting at the police in Montpelier, Manchester last September has been granted bail in the sum of $500,000. Jamar Dawkins, a resident of St. Paul's in Manchester, was offered bail on Monday when he appeared before the St. Elizabeth Parish Court and is to return to court on March 25th. Dawkins is facing 5 counts of shooting with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, and unauthorized possession of ammunition. And the charges stem from an incident in which a group of men shot an undercover police who was involved in an operation in Montpelier. One of the gunmen was fatally shot and a firearm recovered. The others escaped. Dawkins and the other men managed to escape, but he later visited the Santa Cruz police station in St. Elizabeth to file a report when he was arrested and handed over to the Manchester police. Meanwhile, following a cordon and search operation in Manchester's Battersea New Green area yesterday morning, 2 persons were arrested and an assault weapon was confiscated. An AR-15 along with a quantity of 5.56 rounds were seized during the search. The 2 persons have since been taken into custody for questioning. Senior Superintendent McCalla said that the operation is ongoing and the individuals are being questioned in connection with the find. A 36-year-old from Gully Road in St. Anne who was reportedly on bail was shot and killed Monday afternoon. Dwayne Clark, also known as Zano, was identified as the deceased. Preliminary investigation is that at 3 p.m. people heard explosions and called the police. Clark was found lying on his back with what looked to be several gunshot wounds to his upper body. He was taken to hospital and later pronounced dead. And according to reports, Clark was released on bond after being charged with murder. Another deadly shooting occurred on Sunday when Adrian Bridge, a 47-year-old car body repairman, was reportedly shot by a member of the Jamaica Defense Force following an altercation at Battersea, and both instances are being investigated by police. A policeman was disarmed and shot along Maxfield Avenue in St. Andrew yesterday afternoon. His firearm was reportedly stolen by the bandit, and it's reported that the policeman, who is a member of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, was conducting a spot check at the corner of Balmoral and Maxfield Avenue when he was disarmed and shot. Reports said that the policeman was shot in both hands and his legs, and he was rushed to hospital and is now being treated. and the incident resulted in a major traffic pileup along the roadway which had to be cordoned off. Meanwhile, gunmen shot and killed a farmer while he was playing a game of dominoes at a shop in Linstead in St. Catherine on Monday night. The deceased is 37-year-old Nigel Carty, otherwise called Biggs or Crushy, of Sunnyside District in Linstead. Reports are that about 8 p.m., Carter and other persons were engaged in a game of dominoes when two men pounced on them and opened gunfire, hitting him several times. Carter reportedly succumbed to his injuries at the scene. A video of the aftermath of the shooting has now gone viral on social media, and no motive has been identified for the gun attack, which is being probed by the Linstead police. Onto sports. Reggae Boys striker Mikel Anthony has suffered a setback in his return from injury, but it isn't expected to rule him out of Jamaica's CONCACAF Nations League semi-final against the United States, which will take place in March. The 33-year-old has been out of action for English Premier League club West Ham United after suffering a knee injury during Jamaica's CONCACAF Nations League quarter-final first leg against Canada at the National Stadium on November 18, 2023, which saw him substituted after only 21 minutes. And he has been out since then and was just about to make a comeback, but reportedly slipped during a session at the club's training ground, which aggravated the injury. And he's now expected to spend another 4 to 6 weeks on the sidelines. Meanwhile, there is chaos leading up to the election of Jamaica Football Federation Confederation, which is set to be scheduled for this Sunday in Hanover. The current inept body is seeking to hold onto power at all costs and have either prevented some organizations and parish organizations from voting or have recognized new bodies as members who would be in favor to vote for them. One organization has already sued them, and the opposing presidential candidate is also thinking to file a lawsuit as well. The current body is on the verge of destroying football in the island, and FIFA might now have to step in and take over the running of football in Jamaica. And don't forget that the best news and sports takes place on this station. If you ever missed the news on this radio station, please go to YouTube, type in Jamaican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep it going. That's going to be news and sports on your favorite radio station. My name is Mikey Bones. I gone.